like to call the meeting to order. If you'd stand for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, thank you, everyone, and welcome everyone watching at home. And we have some trustees participating at home. So, Madam Clerk, if you'd call the roll, please.
Trustee Carter?
Present.
Trustee Mariscal?
Present.
Trustee Kazam?
Present.
Trustee Gett?
Present.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Present.
Trustee DeVore? Present.
All right, great. So all the board is present in one way or another. Next, we would be at the approval of the departmental meeting minutes of Tuesday, October 27th, 2020. I'd ask for a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed? All right, the minutes are approved. Madam Clerk, any correspondence?
We do not have any correspondence now, thank you.
All right. We would be at comments from the audience. Anyone want to make a comment to the board? Comments from the audience going once, going twice. Comments are closed. Any old business to come before the board? Okay, let's move right on to new business. The first is the cancellation. This is administration cancellation of the December 22nd, 2020 departmental meeting. Trustee Gett.
I make a motion to approve canceling the December 22nd, 2020 departmental meeting.
Is there a second?
A second.
Mr. Administrator, or Madam Clerk, no need to meet on that night that you see?
No.
Nothing urgent? Okay. We will meet on the 15th, though, correct? Correct. Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Mariscal?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Gett?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore? Aye.
All right, that passes. Next is a discussion item. It's the 2020-2021 levy for the village and the library. Trustee Gett, you want to start on this?
I make a motion, there it is.
This is
We're
just discussion.
We're not an action item. This is, we do this every year for the levy, to approve this for the library. This is something like I said, we take care of the library and their expenses. Chief, you want to?
Well, let me jump in. This is an annual event, you all know.
Right.
One of the things, and I want to congratulate Trustee Weisenberg. Last year, he had a lot of questions about the levy. You know, I've been involved in some other boards, and routinely, the public body would just set up to the maximum without having to hold a public hearing. I think this is something that the village, for the most part, has done in the past, but we listened to the comments last year, and this year have instructed administration to simply levy for the amount we need to contribute to the police pension fund, and no more. So we're only collecting what we need, and I want to congratulate everyone here for we're living within our means. We're running a tight ship, and we're able to still set some money aside. So I think everything's going well. So again, this is for discussion tonight. Would like your comments on this. We will approve this at the 15th, Madam Clerk?
Correct.
Okay. So we're open for discussion.
So this would be for the levy that's payable in 21 for the expenses on 20, correct?
2021, correct, Madam Clerk? Madam Treasurer?
It's payable in 2021 and it's applied toward 2021.
Payable in 21, applicable for 21.
Correct.
Okay. So the library, I see they had an increase of right around $10,000, if I'm not mistaken. So do we, how do I want to phrase this? Do we have any accountability for their budget, or we just say this is the levy they want and we vote on it?
And that's an excellent question. I've struggled with this going back. I'm going to ask Madam Clerk to give you a good answer. I think we have been, and Madam Clerk, when you get the floor, correct me if I'm wrong, but we have been somewhat of a, I don't know if rubber stamp is a good word, but they set the levy that they would like us to impose, because we have to do that, and it's kind of a strange relationship. Even though they have an elected board, we have an elected board, but their levy has to come to us for approval. I think historically, and maybe Trustee Gett or Trustee Carter can chime in, they've been around here a while, that's typically been approved by the board with whatever they've asked for. So I'm going to ask Stephanie if she'd give you a better answer on the levy and how that works with the library.
Thank you, Mayor. You've got the situation pretty well summed up. Attorney Walton has spoken on this before. We do not have any authority over the library, so we cannot change their budget, we cannot change their levy. That being said, there is a kind of unique mechanism wherein we must approve their levy. They don't have the authority to approve it on their own, so we have to do it. We can't change their levy request.
So was there any explanation from them? I don't know if they would even have to give us one for the $10,000 increase. I mean, weren't they closed most of the year? They should have had some surplus from not operating. Why would they need an additional $10,000?
Well, historically, they've never given, I would say, an itemized list of what those dollars are spent on. I know they've come to this board at this time of year, given an overview of what they project, what they have spent it on. But as far as an itemized list, what those dollars are actually going forward, I mean, it wasn't, I guess, to that specific. I think that's kind of what you were asking. Do we have any, I guess we could ask them that moving forward. But I think that what the mayor mentioned as far as the recommendation, that percentage is 3.68 this year. So I think that's important, rather than the 5 that we originally do. And that does go to the cost of covering the mandated police pension fund. So.
Right. Yeah, no, I'm comfortable with the explanation from the village for their increase. But we're just, for lack of a better term, rubber stamping a $10,000 increase when there's a lot of our residents who are unemployed right now, and maybe for a good part of 21, depending on how this virus goes. So I just don't think it's reasonable just to increase for the sake of increasing.
Well, I don't think it's unreasonable at all, because we've kind of gone that route with the chamber. At one time, they were just given a flat, sum, and there was no accountability, and we've really scaled that way back, not only the amount, but also scaled it back as far as, itemizing what those dollars go for. So it's not out of the realm of how we do business now. So it's a good point.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate to ask council some questions and ask questions of the library board itself. If you have those, Trustee Weisenberg, or any other trustees, I would suggest that we send those through the administrator here and copy council on that.
Yeah, just for clarification, I'm okay with the village's side. It's the library that I have questions on.
I agree with you, and that's a great question, and I don't always like the answers that we get either, because sometimes we're very limited in what we can do, but right. I want to delve into this a little further to see if council has any further advice for you, or if the library, and they're great people, they do a great job there, if they can answer some of the questions that you may have.
Okay, thank you.
Well, they could probably be just trying to plan for anything that might pop up. I don't know how they operate that facility on the budget they have. They pretty much run it on a shoestring. They always have. But I don't have a problem with giving them questions about this. But they usually do pretty good on not much,
They do, but I think it's a good point. I think that it should be monitored. Everyone else, look at the village. We've really tightened our belt in many different areas. I think it's a great point moving forward, and I will follow up with council on that.
Chief Sean was unavailable tonight. Is that true?
Correct. That's due to, I believe he is quarantining. That's why he's not here tonight. So I would imagine he would be here at our next meeting. So.
Yeah, let's see at a minimum if someone can be available by phone or in person.
Right.
Anyone else?
I do have a question. So I understand, I guess I kind of understand the principle, like, that we are levying for them and they have their own elected board. So where's the system of checks and balances for how they're spending their budget? Is that just based on their elected board? But do you feel, I feel like it's kind of there is no system of checks and balances, because even though they're elected, we are approving it. So I feel like it essentially is coming down on us, because their board is not having to, like, sit in the hot seat, like, you approve this is for our residents. Does that make sense?
I think it's kind of a unique situation in that, so my understanding of this is that we have the legal authority to approve the levy, but we have no legal authority to set their levy, which means that while it's ultimately in combination with our levy that it gets passed and sent to the county, this board lacks any legal authority to actually do anything. So it does go back to them being on the hot seat. They are the one who prepares that, approves that, and then sends it to this board for finalization.
But I would ask the question, so we can't set their levy, but what happens if we don't approve their levy? That's the question, I think.
I
Yeah.
believe the last time that was posed to Attorney Walton, essentially it is not an option.
Like, we have to approve it regardless?
Yes, that was essentially the impression that I was given.
So we
that-
have to approve a tax increase on the Village of Peoria Heights, and we have no option but to approve the tax increase.
Because this is not our levy.
That makes me want to vote against it just out of spite. You know.
I mean, that
it's-
kind of puts us in a rough
I understand,
position,
it is
you know?
an incredibly, it's a very unique situation. I know Chief is going to reach out and we will get a better legal explanation.
I think the people of Peoria Heights, the citizens of Peoria Heights understand the mandate regarding the police pension
Absolutely.
and the importance of the police department and our first responders. But it's a hard sell to tell the people of Peoria Heights, hey, you're laid off, you've lost income, but here's a tax increase for the library. I mean, that's a hard sell. I mean, I know it's not much, it's $10,000, but still, when you're unemployed and we're living off unemployment.
We hear you, and I think we agree, so we'll make sure this week we follow up, and we'll get council involved and make sure that Sean's aware of some of the questions.
Okay.
Anyone else on the phone want to make a comment? Okay, we'll move on then. Someone there? All right. Trustee Gadd, anything else under administration?
No, sir.
Chief Sutton or Dustin?
Just briefly, I want to touch on the DCO grant that we've got so much publicity on this week, and which is really a good thing. But I just want to reiterate the application process, and I mentioned this last board meeting, is much different than the BDD. The process itself, the length of the application is much different. I know we currently have 20 applications in. A very, very, very small percentage were actually completed. So, we're working through that with these businesses. But I just want to reiterate to these businesses that this is not a grant that's administrated in-house. This is a different animal, and we have to have every box checked to get funding. So it's so important. If you do 9 out of the 10 things, there is no funding. So it's crucial that we get this done, and there's really a very, very short window. We have till the 15th to get the applications in. So I just wanted to bring that up again, and do your best to get it completed. Some of the businesses are reaching out daily, hourly, and getting explanations from staff here, which have just been outstanding, in answering those questions. So we're off to a good start, but if you could just be as efficient as you can on the application, it would help us out here a lot. So, but don't hesitate to reach out if you do have questions.
Thank you. Okay, let's move on to police. Trustee DeVore, we have an action item here. Chuck's Auto Sales Special Use Permit Renewal. May I have a motion to approve that?
I make a motion to approve the Chuck Auto Sales Special Use Permit Renewal.
A second.
Second.
Trustee DeVore, any comment on this?
No, it's just essentially the same thing that they've had and that we are reviewing, and you can see that Officer Vaughn did review that for us as well. So
Okay.
if anyone has any questions, there's nothing.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please.
Trustee Carter?
Aye.
Trustee Mayerscough?
Aye.
Trustee Kazam?
Aye.
Trustee Gadd?
Aye.
Trustee Weisenberg?
Aye.
Trustee DeVore?
Aye.
All right, that passes. Trustee DeVore, anything else under police?
No, Mayor.
I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the generosity and goodwill of the Peoria Heights Benevolent, who delivered baskets on Thanksgiving. That was a benevolent, correct, that did that? So how many baskets, Chief, do you know that?
Yeah, we had 80 to deliver, and I think they ended up getting like 76 of the 80 delivered, so it was well received, and we had some things posted on our social media. I got some good comments, but yeah, it went over very well. Considering the times that we're in right now, they're very appreciative of the items that were in the basket, so.
Okay, thank you. We would be at miscellaneous business. Any miscellaneous business come for the board? Okay, just to encourage everyone to stay healthy and get through this difficult time, but let's keep up the community spirit and cheer, and we do have the tree lighting ceremony this Saturday at 6?
I am not sure.
I'm almost certain of that, so
Yes.
hopefully you can all make that. Trustee Gett,
I move to adjourn.
is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor of the motion to adjourn signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed?
Aye.
The motion carries, we're adjourned.